For a moment, forget the technology, forget the computers, and forget the myriad opinions of what management zones are or should be. I want to introduce a very simple exercise that will likely change your views on variable rate and give you, the farmer, a tool of your own that can easily be used to evaluate what anyone is telling you. Let's start by placing an imaginary grid over your entire farm field. Now I want you to focus on a small area of your field that you've been working on for some years. Going back in your memory year by year, try to remember whether the yield within that cell was higher or lower than the average for that year. Now take a pencil and paper and write down the years. If the yield was higher than average for that cell, write a number 1 under the year. Otherwise, write a 0. Doing this for a span of about 10 years will give you a pretty accurate picture of the overall average yield for that particular cell. Once you've completed this task, add up the total for all 10 years. You should get a number somewhere between 0 and 10. I call this the yield probability index, or the YPI for that cell. If you can do this exercise in your head for every area in your field, then do so. What you will rapidly discover is that the YP numbers tend to cluster. This means that 10s often have 10s next to them, and if not, then it's most likely a 9. Very rarely will it be less than 9. If you make a map of the YPI values, you will see that they by themselves delineate zones in your field. The 10s are where crops exceed the average every year, and the 0 areas are where the field underperforms every year. From an economic perspective, the YP zones with 8 to 10 are your highest producing areas, while YP zones with 0 to 3 are your lowest producing zones. Zones with a high YPI can be pushed to produce more, while areas with really low YPI are usually hopeless in getting them to average or above average productivity. I tend to group the YP zones into 3 zones. In this case, I would group 0, 1, 2, and 3 into low, 4, 5, 6, and 7 into medium, and 8, 9, and 10 into high. The 3 zones are the field's low, less than 35%, medium, 35 to 80%, and high, greater than 80%, potential yield areas, but feel free to group them any way you see fit. These zones can easily be used to guide variable rate fertilizer applications or seeding densities, or to calculate the profit of the field in these areas. These are the field's natural management zones. I say natural since no thresholds or decisions of any kind were required on part of the farmer. The zones are a result of the year-to-year probability of growth in the field. Yield probability zones are a direct result of yield pattern stability in farm fields. In our work at Niagara College, we are finding this in every field we work with. If you'd like more information about the yield probability index or yield probability zones, contact us today.